water. And he separated, so now he has separated the waters from the water. So when you say separated the waters from the water, and there's waters above and waters beneath, you know what that is. When you go up in the, those of you who ever flown in the plane, you see the waters that he separated from the waters. You are flying right through those waters. You don't ever really want them to come back, right? Because he did that once. And caused a little bit of a problem for the earth, yes? When he put back all the water back where it originally started from. We're going to read that next week where he said, and I opened up the fountains of the deep. Where that is, I don't know. But when he talked about I brought the water back from up top, I brought the water down. Listen, God is terrible.
Amen. Amen.
Yes, we are.
You know, we were raised in a place where they only use pretty terms for God.
Okay.
You know, he's wonderful, and he's kind, and he's magnificent, and yes, he's all of that. But I need for you to add some other words to your vocabulary when you talk about God. This one's awesome. This one's terrible.
Thank you, sir.
We serve the master. Nothing is his counterpart.
Amen.
Nothing is his counterpart. He alone,
Be alone.
all by himself, said, let it be. Goes on and he said, here this thing, everything that's going to come is going to come after its kind. And there's going to be things that are going to have seeds after its kind. So when, yes, there are times when natural trees don't bear a seed, that's because it's time for that tree to go.
Yeah.
Right? It happens in nature. But when you got everything now, because people are so lazy,
Yes.
you don't want a seed in it.
Right.
You gotta have seedless watermelon and seedless oranges and seed. What are you talking about? That means they did something not natural.
Yes.
Goes on and said, God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven. But wait a minute, he created light. What are you talking about lights? Rabbi, he just said, and God said, let there be light.
There was light.
So you mean, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, for seasons, for days, for years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, the lesser light to rule the night, and the stars. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good, and there was evening, and there was morning, a fourth day. So what does that mean? Excuse me. If light was created in the first day, and here we are now in the fourth day, and in the fourth day, he talked about he made light. So what was this light that he made? We'll talk about it in a little bit, but I need for you to let your mind think about it for a second. Here's what we do know. In the fourth day, he created this thing that we know called time. What do you mean? Before we said there was light and there was evening and there was morning, one day. Right? Isn't that a period of time? You define it. You define it.
As we can comprehend.
See, what we don't understand about God is everything.
Right. Right. Right.
Right? That's what we don't understand about him. Right? We understand that he's the master and the maker, but how he does what he does, he doesn't have to tell you.
No.
You wouldn't understand it if he did.
Amen.
Just remember a few weeks ago we were reading where Moshe said, please show me your glory. And God had to tell him, as great as you are, as much as that when his brother and sister had the audacity to talk against him, he made a statement about Moses. He said, weren't you scared to speak against my servant, even Moshe, for he is trusted in all my house, whatever that means. But when Moshe said, let me see your glory, God said, listen, son, listen. Let me just tell you this. I God didn't make you with the ability to know me. That's the bottom line. Okay?
Amen. Amen.
I didn't make you with that ability to know me, because nobody can have that much input and live.
Amen.
God said, I'm going to put you in the cleft of the rock, and I'm going to cover you, and I'm going to let my glory pass. Notice he said, I'm going to let my glory pass by you. Right? He said, and as his glory passed, he was like, please. I need for you to get to the place of who we're dealing with. What does that mean if he made time on the fourth day? This is one who time has no effect on. He owns it. We can't even get back a minute.
No.
God said, let the water swarm with swarms of living creatures, and let the fowl fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. And God created the great sea monsters and every living creature that creepeth, wherewith the waters swarmed after its kind, and every winged fowl after its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill in the seas, and let the fowl multiply in the earth. And there was evening, and there was morning, a fifth day. And God said, let the earth bring forth living creatures after its kind, cattle and creeping things, and beasts of the earth after its kind, and was so. And God made the beasts of the earth after its kind, and the cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the ground after its kind. And God saw that it was good. God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So what's that? What just happened here? What? Let us make man in our image? What mean us? Rabbi, you just told us that Elohim is a singular entity. You just told us that he is God by himself. What is this let us? And you know, people have all manners of things that they think about. There's one school of thought that says that when God says, let us make man, that he's talking to his heavenly host. Those things that he created that was celestial as opposed to terrestrial. Then he was just saying the way a boss would say, let's do such and such. Talking to the people that surround him. So that's one school of thought. There's another school of thought that says that this was the first instance of the plural majesticus, or the plural of majesty. You've heard it. You watched them little old movies where that woman who seemed to have the fountain of youth in her backyard, Queen Elizabeth. That lady don't seem to rot at all.
No.
She says, shall we? And what does she mean when she says, shall we do this? She means her. Because she is supposed to represent the entire kingdom, and therefore she speaks for the entire kingdom, so she says we. Well, frankly, I don't care which one of those meet your criteria.
Right.
You know why? Because the beauty of this is this next line. Right. And God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. So anybody that got any questions, at the end of the day, God said, I did it in my likeness after my image. So now my question is, what is that image? What is that image of God? Is it that God has hands and feet and the nose? You ain't never known nothing about that. Nose is pretty funny. Right? Ever looked at a nose? I have a problem with thinking God has a nose. Because noses are pretty funny looking. If you look at them, you know? I mean, look. We pretty funny looking. The image that you were made in after God is that you're going to, in a minute, God said, and let man have what? Dominion over the earth. God is imbuing in this creature the ability to oversee his creation. He made the ministers of the earth in mankind. So in this way, we follow after God. We also follow after God in that, you know, by his own admission, God hates and God loves. God has emotions. So do you. Most of the time you watch animals, it's all about instinct.
Dang.
Right? You see you've heard them tell you, don't touch the dog's puppies, because if it don't recognize your smell, it'll kill it. Because they work off instinct. You are supposed to be working off of intelligence. You are supposed to, as human beings, be able to discern and decipher, to have a mind that can reason about matters and things. And that's how you're made after the image of God. Don't get it in your mind that you are like. That's why they got all these idols and all this other stuff. God told you when we were at the mountain. I need for you to tell you. Chief of Chiefs tells us all the time. God, Allah Shalom told us all the time how the Torah teaches Torah, right? When we were at the mountain and the horn sounded and the wax louder and louder, right? God made it a point to say, you saw nothing. Right? You ain't seen nothing. I'm not like you. But you heard.
Okay.
You felt me. You knew I was there, but you saw nothing. This is the one I'm talking about right now. The one that you're not going to be able to put your finger on. You only can deal with what God in the way that he tells you how you can deal with him. God goes on to say, God created, and God blessed them and said, 27, and God created man in his own image, and the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. What? Male and female? Mm-hmm. We know this story, Rabbi. She don't come in here. Let me tell you after this is why all this stuff all works out. And God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the dominion, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that creepeth upon the earth. Listen to that now. I want you to listen. And God blessed them, and he said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that creepeth upon the earth. I need for you to hear that, because that's important. Goes and God said, behold, I have given you every herb yielding seed which is upon the face of the earth, and every tree that was in the fruit of the tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for food, and to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is a living soul, I have given every green herb for you. And it was so. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. There was evening, and there was morning the sixth day. So now, this is where I want to tell you about this. You know, people say, see, right there in Genesis, we weren't supposed to be eating meat. See that? God said, I'm giving you some herbs. Were y'all listening to Ema? Did y'all listen to her earlier?
Mm-hmm. 7.
Right?
2. Very clean.
When somebody was a keeper of a flock.
Mm-hmm.
What you keeping flocks for? What you keeping flocks for? What you keeping flocks for? What you making offerings with flocks for? we have to stop deciding that as we read these things that we think we know better than God. I can tell you, you are designed to eat meat too. You have these things called canine teeth. Now, y'all laughing? Y'all think I'm not joking? Them little pointy teeth right here? Those are your canines. They're meant for ripping meat.